Hi, I'm Mike Jones from Qwik Char Trays. Today I'm going to show you how to make salsa using your Qwik Char tray. So let's go ahead and get started. Ingredients we're going to be using today to make our salsa. In here we have some peppers, we have some onions, we have some fresh garlic, we have a lime, we have a couple fresh tomatoes, we have some pureed up carrots, some cilantro, and we have some salt and sugar, and we have a little can of tomato juice. So let's get this prepped and get it on the grill. What we're going to do is we're going to take our oil and we're just going to douse it all inside of this little bowl right here because we want to get a good nice coating on this stuff. So let's just get that mixed up. All right, we're good to go. So let's go ahead and grill fire it up. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to move the grate. Now, one thing I'm going to tell you, I have a tray that I just use just for grilling vegetables in, because if you use charcoal, it gets kind of really distorted in color and ashes. So this is just primary, just to use it with just grilling vegetables. So let's go ahead and turn this on. And just because it's so fast, it's actually ready to start cooking on. So we already put the oil on our vegetables. So we can just start laying out all our vegetables down here in these little crevices. You can see how fast that's starting to work already. All right, so let's get them all laid out. There and there and there, it's starting to smoke. Got the onions. Throw our garlic in there. All right, well, let's just give that a minute to keep cooking and we'll be right back. We're a couple minutes in. You can see everything is starting to cook. Starting to char up really nice on this little Qwik Char tray. So we'll just give it a few more so you can see the smoke coming up out of there. So let's give it a few more minutes and then we'll start cutting this down. So we're just going to pull them off and set them in the bowl. And then we'll come back here in just a minute or so and we'll grab our onions and our garlic. All right, well, we just fire roasted all our vegetables on our grill, so they're right here. So what we're going to do is we're just going to lay these all out here and we're going to start cutting them up for our salsa. So we got these all diced up pretty much. So now we're just going to stick them in the bowl. Like that. And looks like we might need another bigger bowl. And then we'll just start cutting up the tomatoes and getting them in there also. So we just got our tomatoes all diced up. So we'll now add those into the bowl. There we go. And we'll dump our carrots in like that. And we're going to have to squeeze some fresh lime juice in there. So let's go ahead and do that. There we go. Lime juice, and we got some fresh cilantro, so let's get that diced up. Get some of the stems out of there. Put that in there. So we got everything in our bowl. Just gonna mix it around. So we'll end up putting a little bit of, I just put a little bit of sugar on there just to sweeten that up a little bit, and a little bit of salt. And what I like to do is I like to just put some tomato juice in there on top of it. I like chunky salsa, but not everyone prefers that. All right, our salsa's all done. So let's take a chip and give it a try. Perfect. Well, thanks for joining us here at qwikchar.com, and we'll see you next time.